This is the Canon RF 600mm lens with a 2x extender. This is the Canon RF 1200mm lens. Today I'm going to put these two head to head and see if it's worth spending the extra money to get the 1200 or if the 2x extender does just as good of a job. I'm making this video because we were looking to get two new lenses for the 2025 season. We do a lot of animal photography, horse photography, a lot of things in a pasture that can be far away, and sometimes the 600 just isn't quite enough reach. So, we were looking to go to the 1200, or can we add a 2x extender and get the same thing for a fraction of the cost? I scoured the internet, I could not find this comparison anywhere. So I thought I'll make it. Now, we are never in need of 1800 or 2400 millimeters, so if that's something that you need, then you gotta go 1200 because the 600 won't do it. But if 1200 is the max focal length that you'll ever need, then this is a good comparison because it could save you $6,000 or $7,000 if the 600 with the extender is just as good as the 12. So let's see. All right, so this is how we're doing the test. I have this little vision chart right here set up on this telephone pole, and I set the camera up on a tripod 25 yards away. So this thing is tiny, you can barely see it. You can't really make anything out with the human eye. So I'm gonna shoot it with the 1200mm lens. I'm gonna see how far down we can read on the chart, how clear it is. I'm gonna do that with both lenses, photo and video, and that's about it. Just an image quality test. For reference, this is what it looks like on a 70mm lens. All right, let's take some shots. Now we're shooting on the Canon R5 Mark II. I'll use the same camera for both lenses, and I'll be using a 2-second timer, so I will not be touching the camera when it goes off. There will be no motion. I'll be on 1/250th of a second shutter speed, f8, which is the lowest it can go, at 100 ISO. All right, I got some photos. One of those should be good. Now let's do a quick video test and see what it looks like in the R5 II's 8K RAW. Okay, now I got the 1200 on here. Again, this is same settings for everything. We're doing same shutter speed, same f-stop, same ISO. That's the third one. Okay, so first here on the left, we have the 600 with a 2x extender. And on the right, we have the 1200. Both of these are at f8. Way more zoomed in over here. And again, we're zooming in much further than you would ever crop. This is the epitome of pixel peeping. Let's see. And I picked the most in-focused, sharpest photos from every scenario. So yeah, immediately you're seeing a difference in sharpness. Now that being said, there were a lot of f8 photos on the 1200 that I guess barely missed focus a little bit. Most of them were a lot closer to the 600 than you would think, but when the 1200 really hits focus at f8, it is sharper. How much sharper? Not crazy sharper. I don't know if it's $7,000 sharper. And again, we're super zoomed in. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell a difference here. I think maybe you're getting a little more contrast out of the 1200, but there was also, the lighting conditions were changing. I didn't have a ton of time. Sometimes a cloud would come over and it would get more overcast. Sometimes the cloud would go away. It would be a harsher, more contrasty image. And so I think some of this contrast is the clouds. It's not a perfect test, but I mean, at 400% crop, they're pretty close. They're pretty close. And this was the best of the best image from both. Like I said, all the 1200s weren't this pristine. But yeah, it is definitely better. It is definitely better than the 600. But not a crazy amount. And now maybe even a closer representation of these two would be if you stop them down to f11. Let's look at the sharpness now. So on the left we have again the 600 with the 2 extender, and the right is the 1200. Both of these are f11 at 100 ISO. And we're not seeing nearly as big of a gap between these two as we were. Like, look at these words in the top right. That's pretty close. That's pretty close. I think the 1200 might still barely be edging it out, but, well, you know, I don't know. Yeah, it's a little cleaner. You can see just the detail in the blacks. There's just a touch more grain and noise over here. There's a touch more noise in the blacks on the 600, but I mean the sharpness is pretty much there. I mean, they're going head to head here. I was very surprised. Here we have some words. Let's see what we got down here. Let me see if I can line these up. I mean, they zoomed in at 400%. They're this close. I mean, and again, here you're seeing a sky cloud lighting difference, so you're going to get a little more contrast on the 1200 over here than on the 600. But I mean, guys, are we cropping this much on a photo? I mean, even here, I mean, real world, are we really telling a difference even cropped this much? I'm struggling to. Let me put my glasses on. I don't really need glasses, but I mean, yeah, cropped at 300%. I'm still not seeing much of a difference between these two lenses. Not in the sharpness, at least. And not really in any way, to be honest. These look very similar to me. I mean, I'm cropped in so much, it's getting pixelated. This is a 45 megapixel sensor. I mean, we are in there. We're trying to find something wrong. And again, there's a tiny bit more noise in the blacks. Like in this 3, little more noise, but gosh, this is so close. Stop down to f11. I don't know if there's any scenario where it's worth spending the, you know, $6,400 more dollars to get this lens. It's better at f8. It's better at f8. Now, if you need longer than 1200, again, it's your only option pretty much. But man, I'm very impressed at the 2x extender and the 600 lens. It's a crazy difference. Yeah, let's take a look at the video, see if we can tell a difference. Okay, I've got these clips pulled into DaVinci Resolve, and I've got them full screen in the cut page. And first is the 600 with the 2 extender. And yeah, just pulling from this little screen snippet. I mean, just looking at a paused image, it's not the sharpest thing in the world. I can jump over to the end where it's the 1200, and I don't even know if we're getting better sharpening here. This, it's all blurry, zoomed in at 5x. One thing I did notice between the two, like, this is a negligible difference, except if you look at the edge of the numbers, you can kind of see a little, it's not warping, you'll see it. Click here at the edges. You can kind of see that kind of like warbles a little bit. And this is the 1200, and you don't see it as much there. It's very faint here. It's a little more pronounced on the edges. You can see it right there at the beginning on the 4. Watch this line right here. Kind of see how that wobbles a little bit. So zoomed in, this is a 5 times crop. So we're at like 720p on 8K. I showed this in 8K raw, and we've cropped all the way in to 720. Other than that little warble, to me, these images are very, very, very close. Let me show you what they look like not cropped. And I don't think you're going to be able to tell the difference, really. You tell me. Can you see a difference here? This is 600? This is a 1200. Six. 12. This is no editing, this is no color grading. I put a color space transform to get it into Rec 709 at a C-Log 2. I'm very shocked. The 1200mm is $6,400 more than getting the 600 and getting the 2x extender. And then you also have a 600. To me, it's not worth it. I think I can get 90+% of the way there with the 2x extender, which is incredible. Now, if you're trying to do crazy shots of the moon and you need 2400 and you need the 1200 and the 2x extender, well, you know, you're on a mission and you know what you need. But for anybody doing wildlife, I would go 600, put the 1.4 and the 2x, call it a day. You have the epitome of the wildlife lenses at that point. And the 1200 is extremely niche, extremely niche. The 600 already is. If you're watching this video, you searched a very niche thing. But I couldn't find this review or comparison anywhere online, so I just, you know what, I figured I'd make it. I had both lenses at my hands at the moment, so let me know in the comments if you could see a bigger difference between them than I could, or if am I missing something here? I just don't see the appeal of the 1200. It's not that much better. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, give it a like, subscribe, you know the things. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.